Hey, what's up, YouTubers, and welcome back to part 2 of my Western movie collection overview. So I changed my mind a little bit. I was going to initially break this into 4 parts, and I was going to show you VHS first, which I did already. Then I was going to do DVDs, then Blu-ray and 4K, and then the box sets and television series last. But I decided to mix the Blu-rays and DVDs together, which is it's a little bit out of my realm. It makes me a little bit uneasy to do that. I'm kind of OCD with my collection. But this is just for this video to show you guys everything I have. So I mixed the Blu-rays, DVDs, and 4K together. I alphabetized it. There may be 1 or 2 out of place. And I'm going to do 2 shelves in this video. I'm going to do the other 2 shelves in part 3. And then for part 4, I'm going to show you all the box sets and television series westerns like Rawhide and Gunsmoke and stuff like that, multi-packs. So I'll do that video for number 4. So today we're just going to go through the first 2 shelves. So get yourself relaxed, get a beverage and a snack, and I hope you enjoy the video. So I started with numbers, and first one is a Kino title called 100 Rifles, starring Jim Brown, Burt Reynolds, and Raquel Welch. Then the next one is a Criterion release of 310 to Yuma with Glenn Ford from 1957. This is the first 310 to Yuma. And then they remade it several years later with Christian Bale and Russell Crowe. It's 310 to Yuma on DVD, and then I also do have it on Blu-ray. I enjoyed this movie. Next one is called Aces High, starring Eli Wallach. And to me, Eli Wallach was one of the best spaghetti western genre actors. I really enjoyed him. I think his best role was Tuco in The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, but he played in several spaghettis, and he was really good. Next one is Adios Sabata, starring Yul Brynner. The next one's called Amigos, starring Giuliano Gemma, another one of my favorite actors from the spaghetti western genre. But he was much more than just a spaghetti western actor. He also did action movies and stuff like that. He was a great actor. Here's the MGM DVD of A Minute to Pray, A Second to Die. This is a good one. Here's a more modern western, American western, starring Ed Harris and Viggo Mortensen. Also has Renee Zellweger and Jeremy Irons. This is called Appaloosa. I got this for $5 at a Best Buy. I haven't opened this one yet, but I have seen this movie a couple times already. I enjoy it. Another one of the greats all time, it's Lee Van Cleef in Bad Man's River. Also has James Mason in here, and he's a great actor. He was an English gentleman, a fine actor, very, very good actor. And then Gina Lola Brigida is also in here, and Gianni Garco. Great cast, great movie. Next one's called Bandidos. This is the German edition of it. I believe this came out in the mid-60s. So the thing about the spaghetti westerns is they started making spaghetti westerns in about the early 60s. And the heyday, the big boom for the spaghetti westerns was around 65, 66, 1965. And they kind of started to peter out around the early 70s, but there were some that kind of hung on till the late 70s. Here's another Lee Van Cleef movie called Barcaro. Also stars Warren Oates. This is a beautiful release from Grindhouse Releasing. It's the 4-disc collector's edition of The Big Gun Down. This is a great movie. Lee Van Cleef is a bounty hunter, and he's tracking Tomas Milian throughout the movie. Cat and mouse game. Very, very good movie. This one has 2 Blu-rays, a DVD, and then the CD soundtrack. Great edition there. Next one's called Blind Man. Believe it or not, Ringo Starr from the Beatles is in this movie, and it's actually a very good movie. And also Tony Anthony, who was the Stranger. He was known as the Stranger in that little franchise. We'll get to that in part 2, but he stars in this movie. Very good movie. And actually, Ringo Starr held his own. He was a very good actor in this. So this one, I forgot what this translates to in English. Let me pause it for a second. This is I believe this is a German, is this a German release or a Spanish release? I believe this is Spanish. Hold on one second. So this title is called The Stranger and the Gunfighter from 1974. So this is way out of order because I broke everything down by the English title. So this is a little bit out of order, but I'm just going to leave it up here for now. I'll switch that around later. Here's a more modern take on, this is kind of it's a Western, but it also has horror elements in it. And this is a pretty good movie starring Kurt Russell. It's pretty gory, a pretty creepy movie. And it's a good blend of Western and horror. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's pretty good. I have a twin pack here, spaghetti Western double feature. You get Django the Bastard and Boot Hill. Boot Hill stars Terrence Hill and Bud Spencer, and those guys were always great together. They did a lot of comedy westerns. And then Django the Bastard stars Anthony Stephan. He was another great, he was a powerhouse in the spaghetti western genre. Next one's called The Bounty Killer. This is the newest western I have to my collection. This has been out for a while, but this is my newest addition to this collection. This one stars Tomas Milian and Richard Weiler. And I have a couple different editions of Breakheart Pass starring Charles Bronson. And the one on the left is the UK edition Blu-ray from Eureka. Excellent edition. Great movie too. And then this is the US release from Kino. And I enjoy every movie with Bronson. I thought he was a great actor. We sorely need actors like him again. We don't really have actors like Clint Eastwood or Charles Bronson anymore. We just don't. Love to see somebody kind of step up. The next one's called Brimstone. This is another kind of a horror with, it's a Western with horror themes in it. Guy Pearce, Dakota Fanning. I thought this was pretty good. From Twilight Time, we have Broken Lance. I still have yet to see this one. This one stars Spencer Tracy, and Richard Widmark is also in here too. Let's see, it's a movie from 1954. Next one, he's a living legend in my opinion. Robert Duvall is one of the best ever. This is called Broken Trail. Also Thomas Hayden Church is in the movie. Here's a multi-pack that I picked up a couple of years ago, I think at a Dollar Tree. This is Buffalo Bill, Hero of the West. And this is a compilation DVD that has a bunch of stuff on here. There's different short films on here, 17 different movies apparently, according to the top corner. But I think this is not the one with 17 features because it was I think there was a fat pack. Like there was another DVD included with this one, but this one came solo. So I think it's just these 4. So you get, or maybe 5. Buffalo Bill Jr., Buffalo Bill in Tomahawk Territory, The Great Indian Wars, Frontier Days, and Young Buffalo Bill. And it looks like the majority of these are black and white from the 30s, 40s, and 50s. Another great movie, great cast. These guys are great together. Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, starring Newman and Redford. They don't need to be introduced. Everybody knows these guys. Everybody knows this movie. This is a really nice little digibook Blu-ray. And then there was a twin bill here with Butch and Sundance, The Early Days, and I have yet to see that one. This time Butch and Sundance are played by William Catt, who was the Greatest American Hero, and Tom Berenger, who's been in a lot of stuff. And then it also comes with Death Hunt, which I don't think Death Hunt is a Western, but since it's a double bill and it has a Western on, I threw it in my collection here with the Westerns. Next one's called Cannon for Cordoba, starring George Papard from A-Team fame. Next one is Captain Apache. You get to see Lee Van Cleef without his mustache. This one is Cemetery Without Crosses. This is the German release. Comes in this little kind of a hard shell box. And there was the Arrow Video release of Cemetery Without Crosses. So this German edition is very low quality, and it's not the Germans' fault. I mean, Germans have probably some of the best quality I've ever seen before, and I stand behind that. But this was a really bad transfer on the DVD. So when Arrow Video released it, they really cleaned it up and it looks great. It's a good movie. This is a French Western, but it does have that gritty feel of a spaghetti Western, and this is definitely one I would recommend to you guys. If you haven't seen it before, check it out. Next one's called Cheat the Hangman. I believe this one was a cheap dollar buy at a Dollar Tree a couple of years ago. I haven't watched it yet. Low budget Western. There's a John Wayne classic called Chisholm. I only paid $5 for that at a Walmart years ago. The next one here is a little box set, Clint Eastwood Western Icon Collection. You get the High Plains Drifter, Joe Kidd, and Two Mules for Sister Sarah. So I do have other Eastwood box sets and other box sets that I'm gonna save for part 4. That should actually be in a different pile, but oh well. Here's another one. I forget the title, so I'm gonna have to pause it for a second. So this is a movie from 1965 called A Colt in the Hand of a Devil, starring Robert Wood and William Berger. This is a German release, I believe. Then again, I could be wrong about that. Okay. Another Charles Bronson movie here. This one's from Twilight Time called Chado's Land, where Charles lives off the frontier. Jack Palance is also in this movie. 1972. So this one actually should be in part 4 as well, because I usually keep this with my Lonesome Dove box set. I have a couple different box sets. This is Comanche Moon, This was the second chapter in the Lonesome Dove saga. I believe there was 3 different sagas. You know, the original one was the best, I think, but there were 2 other ones after that. Another Twilight Time movie here, starring James Caan and Jane Fonda, Jason Robards. Comes a Horseman. Haven't watched it yet. Next one's called Coming At Ya. 3D and 2D versions of the movie. From MVD Visual. From, let's see, what year was this? The Blu-ray came out in 2010. But it doesn't say what year the movie came out, so I'm not going to spend too much time trying to look for that stuff. Next one's called Cowboy. This one has Glenn Ford and Jack Lemmon. Movie from 1958, 92 minutes running time. Directed by Delmer Daves. Cowboy. This one is easily one of the best westerns, and I saw this one in the movie theater years ago. I believe it came out in, it was either 89 or 90, 1990. Won all kinds of awards, and everybody knows Kevin Costner in Dances with Wolves. So it won, 1990 it won the Best Picture. And what a beautiful movie. Looks great on Blu-ray. Really, really enjoy that movie. Here's another one I really enjoy. This one's called Day of Anger, starring Lee Van Cleef and Giuliano Gemma. 2 of the best to ever do it in the same movie. This next one here is called Days of Violence from 1967, starring Peter Lee Lawrence. And the next one is another, this was a movie that kind of concluded the Deadwood series. Deadwood was a great show, one of the best. To me, it's number 2 in my all-time favorite shows. Number 1 is Sopranos, number 2 is Deadwood. So this was kind of a movie to tie up the loose ends after they canceled the show. Let's see here. Next one's called Django the Bastard, a film by Sergio Garoni. There were so many different kind of takeoffs or spin-offs with the Django name. There were only really 2 official movies, Django, and then I believe it was Django's Return or The Return of Django. I have it here somewhere. And we'll get to that in a little bit on shelf 2. But this actually was only just using the name. It wasn't technically an official sequel to any of the Django movies. And then we have Death Rides a Horse, starring Lee Van Cleef again. And like I said before, anything with Lee Van Cleef is excellent. And if you guys are looking to start a spaghetti western collection or just western in general, anything with Lee Van Cleef is gold. So check that out. So that was the end of shelf 1. I'm going to pause it here, take a sip of some orange juice, and we'll continue on to shelf 2, and then we'll wrap it up. Shelf number 2, here's another case of, they're using the Django name, but it's not an official sequel. It's called Django Shoots First, put up by Dorado Films. Nice edition. And there's kind of a multi-pack here with some Django movies. You get these 6 movies: A Man Called Django, Django the Runner, Hanging for Django, Django A Bullet for You, Return of Django, and Pistol for Django. And here is the official movie and sequel. The great Franco Nero played Django. So you get the first one there, Django, and then you get the sequel, Django Strikes Again. So these are both official Django movies. Anything else is just using the name Django. This one is from 88 Films. It's called Django Shoot. If You Live, Kill. I believe that's what the title is. Something like that. And then Arrow Video released this Blu-ray of the original first Django with Franco Nero. It's a beautiful set. Really, really nice. I recommend grabbing that one. And Arrow also released a steelbook for the first Django starring Franco Nero. That's beautiful too. Really like it. And this one is it's another Django. Kind of I wouldn't really call it a ripoff. I mean, they're not trying to recapture any of the official Django movies. They're not trying to copy them. They're just using the character. And then, of course, they redid it a few years ago now with Jamie Foxx and Leonardo DiCaprio, Samuel L. Jackson. This is Django Unchained, Quentin Tarantino movie. That's the steelbook. Next one's called Duck, You Sucker, aka A Fistful of Dynamite, starring Rod Steiger and James Coburn. Another great cast. Another Dorado Films movie. This is a Blu-ray called European Westerns #1. It's limited. I got number 21 out of 600. This company went out of business, which is a shame. They didn't really do much. They didn't really have many releases, but what they did release was pretty good. And this one is the 7 from Texas. Got a couple of Kino titles here in a row. We have Face to Face with John Maria Volante and Tomas Milian. Great movie. Music by Ennio Morricone. The Maestro. We have A Fistful of Dollars. I still have yet to upgrade this to 4K, but I will be doing that. All of the Clint Eastwood movies at some point are going to get upgraded by me. Next one's called A Fistful of Dynamite, Duck, You Sucker. So I kind of have those a little bit out of order here. The next one is, it's a twin billing, and one of them is a gory Western called Five Bloody Graves. It's an Al Adamson double feature. And then the second movie has nothing to do with Westerns. It's more of kind of erotica. It's called Nurse Sherry. But I keep it in there with the rest of my spaghetti Westerns and stuff just because there's a Western on there. Terrence Hill and Bud Spencer together. And these guys were great together. A Fistful of Trinity. This is a 4-film collection. I love these guys. I love their movies. But I have to be in the right frame of mind to watch them because the majority of these guys together are just kind of comedic comedy Westerns. I have to be in the mood for those. But you get Watch Out, We're Mad, Two Missionaries, A Soldier of Fortune, and Aladdin. But I do really enjoy those guys. They're great actors. Here's another part of the Dollars trilogy. This is For a Few Dollars More. Got another twin bill here. I believe Milk Creek put this out. This is Fort Yuma Gold and Damned Hot Day of Fire. Both of those are good movies. It's a nice release too. And the next one here, I'm going to have to look this one up really quick. I used to remember these, but I forgot what the title is here. So this one is called Four Candles for Garingo from 1971. It says Sheriff Garingo battles the town boss Jefferson and his mafia-type outlaw gang. This is put out by Anchor Bay. This is a Lucio Fulci spaghetti western called Four of the Apocalypse. And I think this is pretty good. Uncut, uncensored. 104 minutes running time. Next one is Charles Bronson and his wife, Jill Ireland, From Noon Till 3. I really love Charles Bronson, and I love every movie that he's in. But he did do a lot of stuff with his wife, Jill Ireland, and she was a nice-looking woman. She just, to me, wasn't the greatest actress, and she didn't have to be in all those movies with him. But that's just how he was. He was very controlling of her, and he wanted to always be around her. So that's that. Next one's called The Glory Guys. I have not watched this one yet, so I don't know anything about it. There's really nobody that I recognize. The co-starring James Caan is in here. Slim Pickens. It's a movie from 1965. And then here's the final part of the Dollars trilogy, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Don't need to say anything about this. You guys already know about it. And then I upgraded it on 4K. And here's that Japanese version. I think this is kind of a spoof or a kind of a comedy western. It's called The Good, the Bad, and the Weird. I think this is Japanese. It might be Korean. Hell, I don't know. Somebody will correct me, I'm sure. Here's another little twin billing from Mill Creek. This is a really nice edition, and it's very cheap. You can get this probably for under $10, I would guess. And these are both excellent movies. You get Lee Van Cleef in The Grand Duel, and you get Franco Nero in Keoma. Highly recommend both of those. And then Arrow Video also put out a release on Blu-ray for The Grand Duel. Very, very good movie. Nice release too. And they put a bunch of bonus features on there. Check that out. Definitely worthy of a buy, a blind buy. Even if you've never seen it or you've never heard of it, just grab it. You'll be happy about that. And I have a couple movies here. Sergio Corbucci. This is going to be a little tricky. My shelves are kind of slick right now because I did just hit them with a little pledge before I started the video, so everything's kind of slick. So I'm just going to put them down here. But we have the DVD from Fantoma of The Great Silence, starring Klaus Kinski. It's a really nice edition. And then I upgraded it on Blu-ray. This is the... I imported this. I think this might be Korean. I'm not sure. But it looked pretty good. It looked pretty good on Blu-ray here, but this one was the best, I thought. This is the 50th anniversary. The Great Silence has a 50th anniversary restoration. It looks really good. This is one of those movies that takes place in a very snowy setting in the kind of mountains, and it's beautiful. It's really well done. The scenery is breathtaking. It's good stuff. I recommend that one. Classic cinema from Cascadia Entertainment. This is called Guns of Diablo, starring Charles Bronson, from 1964. I bought this one at a pawn shop for $2, still sealed, about probably 6 years ago. Next one I still have yet to watch, but I am looking forward to this. It's Gregory Peck in The Gunfighter. This is the Criterion release of it from 1950. Gun Fury 3D. I have not watched this one yet. I think I put it in one day, 1953. I put it in one day and I don't remember what happened, but I ended up not watching it. But it wasn't because it was boring or anything. Something came up and I don't remember what. But this one stars Rock Hudson and Donna Reed. Directed by Raoul Walsh. I'll have to pop that one in and check it out. Have a couple editions here of Hang 'em High. I have the MGM DVD and then the upgraded Shout Select. So there's the DVD. It's in perfect condition. And here's the 50th anniversary restoration from Shout Factory. Great movie. Everything Eastwood does is great. Almost everything. There's a couple of things that he did, some love stuff that he did like kind of in the 90s, and I can probably do without that stuff, but I'm more into like his action movies and his Western movies. They're excellent. Next one is called Hanging for Django, another movie by Sergio Garoni. This one's put up by Raro Video. And this one was, I believe they sourced this one from the 35 millimeter film. I'm trying to see here on the back. Well, I don't want to waste too much time on it. This one's from Olive Films, starring Raquel Welch, Hanny Calder. What a doll. Look at that, man. Whew. What a woman. Have a couple different editions here of the Hellbenders. So the one on the left, this is the Anchor Bay DVD. Sergio Corbucci movie starring Joseph Cotten. He's another one of my all-time favorites. Love Joseph Cotten. He was great. A Coffin Without a Corpse, crammed with millions in cash. And then I upgraded it to Blu-ray from Kino. If you haven't ever seen Hellbenders, check it out. I think you guys will enjoy that one. It's very good. And this one is from Olive as well. It's called High Noon, starring Gary Cooper and one of the most beautiful women to ever walk this earth, Grace Kelly, from 1952. Great movie. Next one is from Arrow. This is called The Hired Hand, starring Peter Fonda and Warren Oates. Another great cast. I always liked Peter Fonda, but I never really cared much for Jane Fonda. Next one's called Ombre, Paul Newman. And Richard Boone, Friedrich March. Great cast. Cameron Mitchell, Martin Balsam. Movie from 1967. What a great cast. Go back to a DVD here. This is part of the John Wayne collection, Hondo Special Collector's Edition. $1953. It's rated G. Next one is called Hostiles. Christian Bale. I know he's another good actor. I really enjoy Christian Bale. He's one of the best, in my opinion. One of the best, more modern character actors. Here is Hour of the Gun, starring Jason Robards and James Garner. From 1967. And we got three more here. We have the 3-disc special edition DVD from MGM, How the West Was Won. One of the best movies ever made. I remember watching this with my dad when I was just little. He would play movies like this on Sundays. This was a very long movie. Was it like 3 hours or something? 164 minutes. It's just under 3 hours, but what a cast. What a cast of characters here. You have Carol Baker, you got Lee J. Cobb, Henry Fonda, Carolyn Jones, right there. She was Morticia, right? Carl Malden, Gregory Peck, George Papard, Debbie Reynolds, James Stewart, Eli Wallach, John Wayne, Richard Widmark, Spencer Tracy, Walter Brennan, unbelievable, Agnes Moorehead, Harry Morgan, who was Colonel Potter in MASH. What a cast. So that was the DVD. I also have the Blu-ray digibook. And this should probably be in part 4. This is the complete first season. They had a season of How the West Was Won. I think it only lasted 2 seasons, starring the great James Arness from Gunsmoke. But that's also an excellent show. I only have season 1 right now. I believe there were 2. I'll have to check that out. But there they are, side by side. If you've never seen How the West Was Won, do check it out. Watch it on a Sunday. Give yourself plenty of time. Make sure you don't have anything to do that day, because it's a long watch. Get yourself a beverage and a snack and sit back and just watch and enjoy this, man. It's great. You'll never see that many A-listers in one movie again. So that was it for Shelves 1 and 2. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope I gave you some suggestions. So stay tuned. I don't know when I'm going to do part 2, but that'll be coming up next. So I still have 2 more shelves of DVDs and Blu-rays, and then part 4 will be the box sets and TV series and multi-packs, and then we'll wrap it up. I will see you guys in the next video. Take care. I also forgot to mention, and I rarely do this, but I'm about 100 subscribers away from 10,000. So if you haven't subscribed, please feel free to do so. I would love to hit that number before Christmas, but that's a tall task, because that's a little bit over 100 subs in 2 weeks. But any little bit would help. And if you enjoy these videos, please feel free to subscribe, and there's going to be more videos to come, and I will catch you guys later. Thank you.